Hey guys, good afternoon. It is about 3:20 here on this Thursday. Just wanted to jump on a quick live here, talk about the weather. We've got a potential for severe weather again as we head towards Sunday and Monday, so I want to talk a little bit about that. We've had a beautiful day here today. Temperatures in the 70s, the wind off the lake, couple of clouds around. If you have not followed me before, my name is Tom Wachs. I'm a chief meteorologist in Milwaukee, so give me a follow, subscribe, a like there if you like this content. Haley, thank you for the happy birthday wishes there. I've got the comments up here as well, so if you have questions, I'd be happy to take some of your questions. I'll go through the forecast here a little bit, but I'm able to get your comments on here as well. So again, I'm a meteorologist here in Milwaukee, and let's talk a little bit about the weather. And I know you guys will probably have a lot of questions, especially about the severe weather potential. All right, so let's take a look here. First of all, a drought update. Yeah, it's not good news. This has not changed from last week, but we are in a moderate drought. In Milwaukee, we are over 2 inches below average for rain for July so far, and for the first time in a long time, we are below average for rain for the year. So, yeah, not good. That's not what we like to see, of course. Let me show you the state view here. I'll go back to that. And you can see across the state, there we go, that, again, it's kind of spotty. It gets a little worse up towards Minnesota as well. But, again, we need rain, right? We need rain around here, and we don't have much until we get towards Sunday and Monday. And I think that's going to be somewhat spotty, but it could be heavy depending on thunderstorms. So we'll be watching for that. But we need rain. We are dry, and hopefully here we'll be getting some. Now let me get into what's going on in terms of the weather pattern, because we have a risk for severe thunderstorms, especially just west of Milwaukee on Sunday. I think we're going to be included in this for everyone as this updates, but we're still ways away. Again, it's Thursday, but this is for Sunday, and then this is for Monday. So we're in it kind of both days here. So let me talk more about what this means, and I'll kind of deep dive this for you a little bit. I appreciate you. Hello, Sue, and hello, Jordan and CJ and Dale. Appreciate all you guys tuning in here. So let's talk about the weather pattern, because what's going to happen here is we're going to see the jet stream come our way. So let me draw the jet stream on here for you. So this is the forecast jet stream, by the way, for the weekend. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a big ridge of high pressure out west in the Intermountain West, parts of the plains, and that's going to dip the jet stream our way for Sunday and Monday. Actually, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The Saturday portion is going to be elevated wildfire smoke. I think it'll be in the sky, not so much at the surface. That's coming in from the jet stream. But here's the deal. Sunday and Monday, with what we call northwesterly flow, that's when we're going to start seeing the storms coming in, because the jet stream brings the storms in, right? And so that's what we're going to end up seeing here Sunday and Monday. And the concern is we're going to start to heat things up as well. So the concern that we have for Sunday and Monday, I'm going a high of 92 both days with a heat index of 101. And a quick hello here. Hello, Sophie. I love chatting with you. I know you're nervous about severe weather. We'll chat about that here. Karen, Liz, Stacy, thank you so much, you guys. This is great having you guys tune in. My friends on TikTok, I think, should be on here as well. Now I just got approved for that. So if you're on TikTok, hello. So here's the deal. We're going to get hot and humid this weekend, and that's going to send little storm systems through too when we have the jet stream coming in out of the northwest. So the question then becomes, how strong do those storms get? And why don't we do this? I'm just going to deep dive this a little more for you. Let me switch over here, or see if I can switch over. Let me see if it'll let me. We'll kind of do this more on the live front here. Jennifer, hello. Hey, guys. Elizabeth, Christine, Jennifer, Karen. Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in here. Jennifer, I'm worried about strong tornadoes on Sunday and Monday. And I feel you here. And I think that is something that we need to watch for. It's still really a ways out. But let's see here let me see if I can click over, try to get my, give me a second, see if I can grab my my web browser. Sorry, give me just a second here. See if we can grab this here. I think I got to add another one. Yeah, here we go. Okay, hello. All right, so this is one of our high-resolution computer models. So let's go into Sunday. Couple of things. Number one, we'll deep dive this here. Again, if you're just joining me, we're talking severe weather risk for Sunday and Monday. So here's Sunday's temperatures. All right, I know it's kind of hard to read, but that's 100s in the purple off to the west. Here in Milwaukee, it's going 90. So there you can see it a little bit more there. It's going 90 degrees. So it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Dew points are going to be high. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click onto what's called an atmospheric sounding. Let's see if we can see this here. See on the lower right, see right there, it says potential hazard type tornado. So what I don't like about this, and I know I'm going a little more, deep dive on you here, but there's a lot of instability forecast. There's turning of the winds. Do you see that here? I don't know if you can see my cursor, but you can see the winds there on the right above where it says mean wind. And there's turning of the winds and things like that. So I know I'm getting a little deep dive on you here. And I know a lot of questions here. Jennifer, Michelle, Dousman, and Gregory. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this. So here are my thoughts right now. I don't know the timing yet. It could be Sunday night. So Parade and Dousman might be okay. It's a little too far out to get specific right now. So where we are right now in the forecast process is broad, right? So we're able to look and say, okay, what are the winds forecast to be doing? What's the instability? We have a storm system coming in that's going to lift the air, really unlike what happened last week. Or a couple of days ago, I guess. I'm even losing concept of time. But as we look back to earlier this week, we had that enhanced risk and nothing happened in southeastern Wisconsin. I think this is a little bit of a different setup for us, but that's going to be a question mark at this point. We need to get a little closer to refine that. I will say that the storm system, the lifting mechanism, isn't overly impressive, at least at 18,000 feet right now, but the instability is so great at the surface, and if we're in the 90s and it's super hot and humid, there's not as much of a cap in the atmosphere as there was the other day. So going back to someone who said, I'm worried about strong tornadoes, stay tuned. I wouldn't get too bent out of shape at this point in terms of specifics, whether it's wind damage or tornadoes. Just know, everything's on the table right now, both Sunday and Monday. But as of right now, I think it's more of a broad, hey, just be on the lookout. Once we get towards the Saturday time frame, Friday into Saturday, I think we'll have a better idea. The Storm Prediction Center really dives, more into the localized high-resolution data as it comes in as well. So if we were to go slight to enhanced risk or something like that, I think we'll have a better idea. So, and this goes back to you, Sophie, as well. Weather anxiety is a real thing. And it's something that I suffered from a lot as a kid, which actually then turned me into a meteorologist. And it's totally normal. And the biggest thing to combat that is information, right? And that's why I love, Sophie, you asked so many great questions. Stay informed. That's the biggest thing that can combat the unknown, right? Is information. The more you know, the more power you have in it, right? So stay tuned with that. Let's see here. Let me get back to some of your questions. Dale, come to State Fair. We'll see. I'll have to check my schedule there. Aaron, the Washington County Fair on Sunday, it's going to be very fair-like weather. What I mean by that is very hot and very humid. Drink a lot of water, but you need to pay close attention to the weather simply because of the storm aspect. And again, I don't know the timing yet. It could be at night. It could be late afternoon. We'll see how that goes. So have a lot of fun at the fair, but just kind of, stay weather aware. Nikki, thank you so much for your kind comments. Really appreciate it. Dale from Plymouth, hello there. You're looking good for the next few days, but again, Sunday, Monday, we got to watch. Evan, will Sturtevant be in the line of fire? Potentially. Again, we don't have those specifics yet, but, right now we just kind of know, hey, things could be brewing, but we'll get more specific. What could happen is these things develop in Minnesota. It comes through as a squall line later at night, that sort of a thing. So we need to iron that out, and that gets ironed out more with the high-resolution models here in the coming days. Stacy, thank you again for the kind comments here. Debbie, hello, nice to hear from you. Are we done with the heat dome in 2026? No, it's coming back Monday or Sunday and Monday. Tuesday is still going to be warm. I've got a high. Actually, you want to see? This is my little forecast sheet here. I don't know if you can see it. So this is what I fill out every day. Is my forecast sheet. So I've got 92 Sunday, Monday, 87 Tuesday, 84 Wednesday, but we're not even into August yet. So it's going to get warm again for sure. Sophie, I've seen the tornado threat will be low and it'll be more MCSs with damaging winds. Great. You're looking into this, and I like that. So the Storm Prediction Center has talked about that. What an MCS is, that stands for Mesoscale Convective System, big squall line, basically. That's the question right now, is if the storms line up quick, it's a wind damage event. That's the MCS you're talking about. If they don't and they stay more individual, it would be tornadic at first and then lining up. So that's still the question mark, because it's going to depend where the storms fire, if that makes sense. If we're in the firing zone of the storms, then we're at a greater risk for tornadoes, because that'll happen early in the life cycle, and then it will line up and turn linear. So Sandy, I'm confused of my forecast. Let me know. Ask me a specific question. I'd be happy to clarify. So please let me know. I would very much love to answer your question. Gregory, would you say that this is more slight, or would this be an enhanced or moderate? Oh, you're going to be chasing. Nice. Okay. Right now, I would say at least a slight. I mean, we're basically there now for Sunday. It's probably going to be an enhanced somewhere in the region, just based on timing. I don't know where yet. So stay tuned for updates on that. Chris, when it's super warm, can you call that a tropical vortex, like a polar vortex? You might be onto something here. I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you so much. Terry, thank you. Oh, hello, Bonnie. Nice to hear from you. Hello, John. Thank you so much for your kind words. Hello, Pat, Lauren. Hello there. Why are we getting so many tornadoes this year compared to previous years? That's a great question. And that is something that I can tell you is very true, right? April and June were both crazy. And I used to work in Kansas City, and I've never seen anything like what I'm seeing now. The reason why really is luck, or not being lucky, and that is the jet stream pattern. We were talking about that a minute ago, and let me go back. Let me see if I can take you back to, my graphic here, because I think it's a really good way. Let's see. There it is. So the jet stream has been lining up over us. And many times, everything has to come together just right, correct, to get, tornadoes and severe weather. We talked about that with the bust from last week. And so it's really more luck than anything that we've had so many tornadoes. Just everything has lined up, and here we go again. And I'll be honest, I think we line up straight through next week and maybe into the week after. So it really depends a lot on that jet stream. So let's see here. So that's a great question. Let me go back here. You guys are phenomenal. So Lauren, that was a great question there. Tuesday as of right now, slight chance for thunderstorms, 87. Lauren, is it safe to go to the Milwaukee Air and Water Show on Sunday? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to try to catch it on Saturday. I'm actually super pumped. I love the Air and Water Show. It's so fun. Yeah, I think you're totally safe. This is just a matter of just make sure to stay up with the forecast. As of right now, again, Sunday may just be dry and hot, and then storms come in Sunday night. That's the question mark right now. So yeah, definitely don't cancel any plans. Don't change anything on account of this forecast right now, because it's so far out. We still have several days, but go enjoy the Air and Water Show. I'm just glad we're not going to be fogged in like years past. Remember that? That was many years ago now, but it's going to be great. I'm going to try to catch it as well. Hello, Kathy. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much for your kind comment there. It means the world, really, to all of you guys. Thank you, because This is why we do this, right? Is to educate, inform. We don't want to scare people, even though I know it sometimes might come across that way unintentionally, that, we're amping things up or trying to hype things up. We're not. It's really the opposite. And so I appreciate all of your comments and this interaction, because it means the world. This is why I do what I do. I love it. I'm worried about storms on Sunday and Monday, and I work outside. I would not worry at this point, really. I think this is just more of a precautionary, hey, pay attention. Once we nail the timing down, then you can kind of start thinking more on the order of, okay, what do I have going on, right, at that point? So, don't panic about any of this at this point. Aaron, my 10-year-old's asking where I went to school to be a meteorologist. Great question. So I spent 2 years. I'm from Mequon. I went to Homestead High School from the area. I actually interned at Fox 6 in high school and with Vince Candela, if you remember Vince. And then I went to the University of Oklahoma for 2 years. Great storm chasing, tornadoes, all that kind of stuff. And it's funny because I swore I would never go to the University of Wisconsin or come back to Wisconsin. As a kid, you're just like, I'm out of here. And after about 2 years, I'm like, I think I want to go to Madison. So I transferred to Madison, and that's where I got my degree. In fact, University of Wisconsin-Madison's in the top 10 of meteorology schools in the country, which is really cool. Phenomenal school. UWM did have a program. They're phasing theirs out, but so many schools have it. I mean, Wisconsin has one at Madison. Northern Illinois has a great program. Iowa State, Florida State, Penn State. I could go on and on. Oklahoma. So many. So I went to Oklahoma and Wisconsin. Let's see. Hello, Marlon. He said, timing of this, just hopped on. Sunday and Monday for severe thunderstorm potential. So we're all good until Sunday and Monday. I don't have specifics on timing yet, but stay tuned for that. Hello, Steve. What is the biggest ingredient for tornadic storms? Great question. So several ingredients. In general for severe weather, so that would be like the precursor to tornadoes, we need to have the moisture, we need to have lift, and we need to have instability. All right, so instability is cold air aloft, warm air at the surface. All right, so because it's all about air parcels rising. So warm air means air parcels rise. Imagine a shoebox full of air, and that air is rising. Well, what happens to that warm air as it rises? Well, it's going to cool down, right? Because the air above us is cooler, but it's still going to be the warmest thing in the neighborhood. And as long as that warm air blob is the warmest thing in the neighborhood, it's going to keep rising. And the colder the air is aloft, we call those steep lapse rates in meteorology. If it's getting much colder, the higher up you go, that warm air is going to travel farther, making the cloud tops higher and the weather more severe. So that's number one. Number two is the moisture, so dew points, which we often talk about. And number three is lift. And this is where I think we were lacking a little bit the other day. Lift is you need to have something to lift that warm air up, right? Sometimes it can lift up on its own when it gets hot enough. We call that the convective temperature, but usually it's got to be a cold front, or it's got to be a storm system at 18,000 feet that comes over and lifts the air up. And we are going to have that system coming in at 18,000 feet on Sunday. Right now, it looks somewhat weak. In other words, it's not a huge, massive trough of low pressure. Maybe Monday is a little better for that. But that's what we still need to work out is the lift portion. Everything else is going to be there. Then, capping inversion. We had that the other day where there's like a lid on the atmosphere. We could have a little bit of that Sunday, but I don't think that's going to be as strong. Then the final piece of the puzzle here, and this is going to your question, what's the biggest ingredient for tornadic storms? I would say wind shear, which is if you were to get into a hot air balloon and you were to go up, the wind would be getting stronger as you go up and also turning, meaning the wind direction is changing. We can already see that, and I can show that to you here, which is this guy. So you can see the winds, and it's kind of right center screen here. So you have a southwest wind at the surface. This is for Sunday, by the way. Southwest wind at the surface, northwest wind aloft, okay? And so that's creating an automatic turning in the air, but in the horizontal. So we need that to tilt into the vertical, and that's what happens when you get thunderstorm updrafts. So we can actually see horizontal rotation days in advance based on the wind shear. Then when you get thunderstorms firing, if it tilts that into the vertical, then we have a problem. because the storm is rotating, which doesn't automatically mean tornado. It could mean very large hail and what we call tilted updrafts and downdrafts, which will keep the storm alive longer. But the low-level rotation then is what we're concerned with for tornadoes. So I hope that helps answer your question. CPC outlook for winter, Evan. El Nino pattern. Is the El Nino pattern going to influence winter? Honestly, I have not looked at this point. Don't quite know at this point yet. I don't like seasonal outlooks overall, just because one storm, one blizzard can change the whole equation, right? Be careful with El Nino. I know that's the big buzzword right now, super El Nino and all that. But for us, typically El Nino and La Nina has less of an impact because we are much more in the middle part of the country, let's say, than on the Gulf Coast. So I wouldn't look too much into it at this point. Although as we get into fall, we'll kind of look a little more into that there. Oh, I love this, Michaela. Your 8-year-old's a future meteorologist. That's so great. I love it. Well, you tell your 8-year-old that to keep studying the weather, keep a journal of the weather. I love that. So I was 8 years old, and I was the class weatherman in the 2nd grade. So that's amazing. I love it. Keep studying the weather. Keep the passion going. That's amazing. So I love that. Thank you. You got it, Chris. I'll make sure to mention your name with the Tropical Vortex brought to you by Chris. Hello, Patty. Thank you so much for your kind words. Sophie, will the jet stream pattern be stuck like this for the rest of summer? It'll go back and forth. Oh my goodness, I did not know your house was damaged from the tornadoes in April. Well, no wonder that you have been so anxious about this. I totally get that. I think biggest thing to know, and you know this from April, is just be prepared. And you're the best at that. And be prepared, be informed. Let me give you a quick story. When I worked in Kansas City, it was just me and my wife. We didn't have our daughter yet. And there was a tornado that was coming very close to our house in Kansas City. And of course, I was at work, right? Well, I got super into tornado protection because my wife was by herself. I mean, I bought bike helmets to cover our heads if things were to fall. And I went so far as to buy an air horn. And this is maybe something, Sophie, you might be interested in. If you go to a sporting goods store or whatever, you can buy one of those really loud air horns. When I saw the Moore, Oklahoma EF5 tornado back in 2013 firsthand, horrific. One of the first tornadoes, one of the only tornadoes I've ever seen. I was less than a mile from it, and parents were running through the streets looking for their kids. Horrible experience. And everyone had to be really quiet as search and rescue went through the neighborhoods because it demolished houses. And that got me thinking, well, let's say you're in your basement. And again, worst case scenario, it's very unlikely that this would ever happen. But in the off chance that it were, let's say you're in your basement or you're in your shelter and, you can't get out of it. Well, search and rescue crews come through neighborhoods and they are listening for, people saying, hey, I'm in here. Well, you could go to a sporting goods store and for, I don't know, $5 or $10 buy one of those really loud air horns, keep that with you. And, if you sound that, then people know where you are. I mean, that's as far as I got into my tornado preparation in Kansas City. So I get it. I understand it. I've seen that firsthand. So, again, your anxiety is completely well-placed and well-founded. And I'm sorry that you went through that. But, again, preparation, and if you have questions, you can always message me. But, I think that at least made me feel better, especially for my wife, because I knew she was home alone at the time. So, preparation is really key there when it comes to tornadoes, severe weather, all of that. Thanks so much, Chuck. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Oh, hello, Taylor. So we are talking about severe weather threats Sunday and Monday. And again, it's a ways out. I just figured I'd jump on here for a few minutes. I've actually got to run an MC event here tonight that I've got to run out to. But so it's days off, but the big summary right now, if you're just joining us, is, hey, there's a chance for severe weather Sunday and Monday. That's about all we know at this point. Haley, the Sussex tornado scared you. I get it. We went to the basement here. I mean, I'm surprised, first of all, that Menominee Falls didn't get hit hard. that night by that tornado, and we were in the basement because I'm surprised it didn't come right down Brown Deer Road and hit us at the station. And we were all very lucky there. So let's see. How's it looking for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? Saturday's good. Maybe a little smoky. Sunday and Monday, those are the severe weather chance days. Lauren, thank you so much. Really appreciate your kind comments. You're so great. You guys are just awesome. Really appreciate it. I'll keep trying to do the deep dives as well. Sue, does College of DuPage still have a program? Yes, they do, and they're excellent. They are excellent. Heading to Adams County for a week. Pay attention Sunday and Monday. Same thing up there. Michelle, thank you. I appreciate those kind comments. Thank you so much. Kathy, yeah, means we won't not get anything. Right. And I think that there are going to be a lot of people who are I'm sure I'm going to hear from them in my comments saying, well, you guys called for an enhanced risk the other day and we got nothing. And, you're just crying wolf, this and that. And you guys know that that's not the case. And that it's going to be tough from a communication standpoint, especially if we do get severe weather, for a lot of people to really come on board and believe us because of the last event. And I get that. That's the way of the weather, unfortunately. Again, it's about ingredients. Sometimes they come together and they're explosive, which could have happened the other night. Thankfully, it didn't. And that's a tough part, right? Is that, a lot of people, you guys are always wrong, this and that. And that's not how it works. And so that's going to be interesting, I think, going into the weekend, is trying to convince people that, hey, look, you need to pay attention again. Evan, is it true if you have too much shear, it can tear the storm apart? 100% yes. Very much so. In fact, that may have very well been a contributing factor to what happened the other day. There was too much shear. There was not enough instability. This is awesome, Michaela. He falls asleep to the movie Twister every night. That's great. I love it. And they don't make him any better than that, right? With the movie Twister, that's for sure. And the new one's good, too. I like this, Bonnie. Yes, standard go bag. Yes. And I like this, Bonnie. And I'm going to see you, Bonnie, in a couple of weeks here at a conference. And let's talk about that. You guys are putting this guidebook together. It's in conjunction with folks in Alabama. There's a research group. And so what we'll do is we'll share that with everybody as that kind of takes shape. So you guys are so great. Jennifer, great question. Will this be all of Monday or just in the morning? Don't know yet. Stay tuned. That's the question, is the timing at this point. My 4-year-old said you tricked us. This is great. Julie, my 4-year-old said you tricked us. I had to explain to her I can't really predict the rain. Could you tell everybody that, please, Julie? That would be so great. That would be so great. Thank you. Do we think YouTube streaming guys like Ryan Hall will become more and more prevalent? This is a really good question. And will it affect local news weather? So guys like Ryan Hall and Max Velocity are excellent. They do a great job. They really get the message out. Yes, they will become more prevalent. And because this is the way that people are consuming information. One of the reasons why I'm on now, right, is because this is how people are consuming information. I do think that they will become more prevalent. I think you're going to see more meteorologists popping up as well. What I love about Max Velocity and Ryan Hall, they do such great work. And not only that, Ryan does great work in the community, right? All this stuff. They're great. But they're national, right? Now, not to say that they're not local, too. I mean, they cover where the storms are. I think there's more of an opportunity locally on social media, which is, again, why we're chatting here about this today, because, that's the way it's going. Now, will it affect local news? 100%. We're doing a lot of streaming on our Fox Local streaming app now, and we're doing a lot more with social media. And I think that you're going to see that more and more. But the issue with that also becomes if the viewership is more fragmented, right? We have some watching on television. We have some watching on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, right? It becomes more fragmented. So my opinion is we've got to be where everybody is, right? So like right now, I'm streaming on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube simultaneously because I'm trying to capture where everybody is. And that may become a challenge, especially if we have more social media platforms pop up, as I'm sure we will in the coming years. So that's a really good question. So will it affect local news? Yes. I don't believe in any way that local news will go away. I think it's still extremely important. It's just the way that people are consuming it is different. I think it goes to show, and you see it with news a lot too, people want this information, right? People want weather, they want news. Not everyone wants it sitting down at 10 o'clock at night. So that's, incumbent upon us to make sure that we're everywhere. It's a great question. Bonnie, we'll chat. We'll chat later about interviews and things like that. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. There's a little weather conference that's going to be coming up. And Scott, good question. On one of my deep dives, could we do a read of a hodograph? Absolutely. That'll make your head spin for sure. Yeah, we could talk about that in one too. And I'm actually, I'm starting to come up with more ideas of different deep dives to do as well. So if you ever have any, let me know. I mean, I love these in the comments. One thing I want to do, I'm kind of copying it from somebody that did it in a different market, but why weather apps say no rain, but yet we're saying severe weather, right? That type of a thing. So, but again, thank you guys so much. I've got to jump off here. I've got to head to an event, and then I will be on air tonight at 9 and 10 o'clock. If you are not following me on YouTube, please do. Tom Wachs or Tom the Weatherman on YouTube. Same for my YouTube friends on Facebook. It's Tom Wachs TV on Facebook. And then on TikTok, if you're on TikTok, hello to all my TikTok friends. Please follow me on there as well, Tom the Weatherman. Again, just trying to reach everyone everywhere, right? The YouTube channel, by the way, I'm going to try to put more, I'm putting more of the deep dives on there, and I'll try to put more weather explainer stuff on there. It's that way it can live on there. So subscribe to the channel. That way you can go and see different education stuff. And if you're into the weather, and I know some of you who said your kids are into weather, that may be a good resource too. We talk about polar vortex and different things on there as well. Let's see, Sophie, good question. Were tornadoes supposed to die down a little bit in the summer and it's more April, May, and June? Good question. Our tornado season is really June to August. Isn't that wild? We can get them in any month of the year. Typically, though, June to August tends to be our biggest. Isn't that wild? So it's just been an active early season for us. And Alan, have I spent more time in school than others? I have not, but thank you. I seem to know much more. That's very kind of you. Thank you. No, I'm just a really big weather nerd, I think is the answer. So I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison and worked a lot in Tornado Alley. So severe weather has become my passion, as you can tell, right? And, and helping people with that. And I learned from Vince Candela, who is our retired chief meteorologist here at Fox 6 in Milwaukee. And, I learned, this is really interesting. I learned very quickly in my career that not every meteorologist educates, and I didn't realize that. So I went out to Western Nebraska for my first job, and I'm pulling like a pencil out. I remember this. I pulled a pencil out on the air, and I broke it in half. I'm talking about wind shear and that kind of stuff. And people were blown away. They're like, we've just been told it's going to be sunny and 70 tomorrow, right? Like we've never been given the education behind it. And I didn't realize, I grew up with that because Vince Candela did that here in Milwaukee. And I'm so blessed to have grown up watching him because I didn't realize that that's not a common thing. And so that's kind of how I came to be in meteorology. And, it's always learning, right? It's, that's the other thing. No matter what you do, it's always learning and that sort of a thing. So thank you guys so much. You guys made my day. I appreciate it. I will see you on air later tonight, and I will post an update too later on when it comes to the new data tonight as to what we're seeing for the weekend. All right. Well, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. And we will see you on TV. And don't forget to, as the high resolution data comes in, I'll be posting that as well. And I'll